Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalaakaya Chakshurum Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatade Satarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gauratishe Namaha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesh Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpa Taruvesha Kripa Sindhu Bhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langhaite girim yat kripa tamaham bande Shri Guru Deenatarinam Shri Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Hare Krishna. So I think last class we had some revision and today we will see how our mind works and how we get into the cycle of the karma. So today's session is entitled, This Situation What We Are Put In Is Not All in All. Okay, just a little bit of review of last session which already was done last class. Right, we saw how about karma yoga. We saw karma in experience, how we experience karma in life, how there are our subtle body, how subtle body stores our data, and the pious and the impious are stored separately. We also saw how about prarabdha and aprarabdha, how prarabdha creates various situations in life and aprarabdha creates various inclinations in life. And then we saw a very important thing, how good karma and bad karma do not cancel each other. We need to experience it. But then there are delayed karma because of both pious and impious are interconnected. We also saw the example of Dhritarashtra asking Krishna about why the 100 sons were killed like that after 50 lives. Yes? Yes, correct? Anyone has any question till this point? Or we'll go ahead. Okay. So, today we will see how our karmas, they start working. How actually karma works. So, you see here is an example given about a robot. Now, the robot is working very nicely, but behind the robot's actions, how the robot is working, there is a software. How many of you know that a software actually runs the hardware, correct? It's the software which actually runs the hardware. Like for example, I'm using this Apple Pencil. So it has a software, the iPad has a software, and that is fed into another software, that is the computer, and then speech and video are not very smooth. Why? Is it like that? Okay, I think your internet is low. I think I think your side internet is bad. So the software is actually handling the hardware. Now we will see what is this human software? What are the compositions of the human software? So there are three things of the human software. First is the mind, second is the intelligence, third is the ego. So human software consists of these three things: mind, intelligence and ego. These three things work in a particular way, right? And help us do our actions. Okay? So the mind is like a hard disk. So hard disk, it stores data. Intelligence is like a processor which processes data, and ego is an identity. I will help you understand how the mind, intelligence and ego works by this analogy. So through some examples we can easily understand how the mind, intelligence and ego works. Okay, so this is a simple example. Let us say we all of you know about, and you have the habit of going to an ATM machine. So we get an ATM card. Yes, everyone has seen an ATM card. So when you insert the ATM card into this machine, what this machine says: hello, Sri Nitai Das, welcome, right? So that means this ATM card, which has a magnetic reader, it stores, or the ATM machine stores the data that this card belongs to Sri Nitai Das. Otherwise, how it can recognize, correct? So that data that is being stored in the machine, that is exactly like mind. Mind means it stores the data. So the mind functions like it's a data storage device. What data it stores, we will see later on. Okay, but mind is like a data storage device. Then it asks, okay, Sri Nitai Das, please enter your PIN to go ahead. I said, correct? So then you put the PIN. Okay, so you put the PIN. Thank you. So that means if I put the right PIN, it processes and says that sahi aadmi hai, Sri Nitai Das hi aaya hai, correct? And if you put the wrong PIN, it will say, sorry, wrong PIN entered, please enter the right PIN. So this is called intelligence. Intelligence means processing. आपने सही डेटा दिया, गलत डेटा दिया, processing of the data, that is called intelligence. And what is ego? Ego means what? Can I take my dhoti kurta, uttari, and go to a ATM machine and say, please wash my clothes? What the ATM machine will say? I am not a washing machine, I am an ATM machine. So ego is basically the identity. Now you are able to understand what is mind, what is intelligence, what is ego. Mind is like storage, data. Intelligence is like processing of the data. And ego is like the identity, what it is for. So exactly in the same way, our human software also works like this. So mind stores our emotions and experiences. So what mind stores? It stores our emotions and experiences. I'll give an example. Like you go to a ice cream parlor. All of you know ice cream parlor. In the summer, you go to an ice cream parlor and you get one ice cream. And that ice cream is so nice. It is tender coconut ice cream. And you eat that tender coconut ice cream. You see, I have to know everything because I have to give example. I have not myself eaten tender coconut ice cream, but all devotees have told me the tender coconut ice cream is very good. I don't eat ice creams. So, but tender coconut ice cream, very beautiful, and it was very tasty. So that experience of the tender coconut ice cream gets stored in your mind. And then what you do, then you are going to your school or your office, and then someone says, oh, party, we got a new project, we got a new client. So immediately the boss says, so what do you want? What is the first thing that will come out from your mouth? Tender coconut ice cream. Tender coconut ice cream. And the boss says, okay, let's go to that ice cream parlor. So this is mind. This is how intelligence works. As soon as some data is fed, based on what is stored in the mind, it works. Imagine you have never taken the tender coconut ice cream. Will it ever get attracted? The boss says, we will go to an ice cream parlor for a party and eat tender coconut ice cream. And then you are thinking, tender coconut ice cream, what the boss is saying? Because you have not tasted it, right? So you have not tasted it. But if you have tasted it and the boss says that we'll have a tender coconut ice cream party in the ice cream parlor, you are so excited. And those who have not tasted it, their mind doesn't have that storage of that ice cream. Okay. Similarly, what is ego? This is about mind and intelligence. You are able to understand. The ego is the identity, right? Like what you like. Like I'll give an example. Little crude example, but it fits. Like in 2015. So 2015 I had gone to Chitrakoot. How many of you know there is a place called Chitrakoot? So in India there is a place called Chitrakoot. Lord Ram spent about 12 years there staying. So I had taken 700 devotees in a yatra to Chitrakoot. And I was a manager. That time I used to do a lot of management. Now I am more focused on teaching. So I was the main manager and I was roaming around where these 700 people can fit on the bank of Ram Ghat, where they can sit down and have a katha and kirtan. So that was I was trying to search. So it was a little late evening at maybe 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. I saw a sadhu sitting near the bank and doing number 2. So what I thought that, so now I didn't want to disturb his privacy. I was searching for the place. So I looked the other side and I started moving. But as I had flashed my vision for a few seconds with the sadhu, I saw behind the sadhu there is a pig sitting and waiting. Now sometimes we hear about pigs and everything. I have heard in stories and all pigs, what they like and what they eat. And now when you see it, then it's a different experience. Now then I was saying what this pig is doing. And you will not believe the sadhu left and the pig jumped and ate. This is called ego, identity. Based on our identity, our likes and dislikes are stored in our mind. So if we are a pig, we will like something. If we are a human, we like something. Right? Like for example, the boys are attracted to girls, girls are attracted to boys, and the lizard. Even if the most beautiful Miss Universe come, will the lizard get attracted? Yeah. But the lizard will get attracted to another sea lizard or a Mrs. Lizard. So this is called identity. You are able to understand identity, how our identity shapes our likes and dislikes. Right? So a boy has an identity that he is a boy. So he gets attracted to a girl. And a human has an identity that is a human. So he gets attracted to a human. And a lizard has an identity as a lizard. He gets attracted to a lizard. Or lizardini, or what you say, I don't know, heroine lizard. So hero lizard and heroine lizard. So whatever it is. So this is about ego. Ego means our identity. So in this way, mind, intelligence and ego is a product of our software. Right? These three define our software and help us work our hardware. Okay? So now the question is how we get into the karmic cycle with this software. This is very important. So please focus here. It is little technical, but you will be able to understand. Okay. So the first cycle begins with action. You do an action. I have given an example. What is the example? We buy a product. So as soon as you buy a product, let us say I purchased this Apple pencil and the iPad, which is I am using it to project to you. Okay. Now if you buy a product there are two things that will come. Either you will like the product, wow, kya banaya, what, amazing, amazing. Or you may dislike the product, correct? Anything else other than that? Either you like it or dislike it. So that creates something called impressions on your mind or samskara. Like you would have heard, na? बच्चों को सही संस्कार देना चाहिए. Correct? How many of you have heard that word, samskar? So what is basically samskar? Samskar are what is being stored in your mind. Samskar is basically the impressions stored in your mind. What is the impression? Product अच्छा है. What is samskar? Samskar is like a table. Action, emotion. It's basically an action emotion table. iPad अच्छा है. भगवद गीता क्लास बोरिंग है. So it's an action emotion table. This is basically just like any software has data tables. I don't know how many of you are software engineer or have if you have read little bit of database, right? SQL. How many of you know SQL? Oh, no one. Okay, very few. Devrupa only knows. Okay, so this is a database language, right? So the mind also works like that. It also has a action emotion database, right? So if you purchase iPad, अच्छा लगा, so it stores that with the iPad. iPad अच्छा है. Android थोड़ा सा चलेगा, cheap है, experience थोड़ा cheap है. And भगवद गीता class boring है. And tender coconut ice cream अच्छा है. So it has an action emotion table, right? So that table is called basically samskar. Samskar is basically what table is being stored in your mind based on action. What is your emotion? ये अच्छा लगता है, ये अच्छा नहीं लगता है, ये अच्छा product है, ये अच्छा नहीं product नहीं. Now next what happens from the samskar, that is the second step, then you go to the third step called vasanas. So samskar से वासना प्रोड्यूस होना. ना वासना कौन है, क्या है? So I purchased a Apple iPad and Apple Pencil. Used it for 3 months. बहुत अच्छा प्रोडक्ट बनाता है Apple. And then I am going through the Apple store in city center. In the city center, I am going through an Apple store. As I am looking through, there is a big picture and I am getting tempted. My intelligence is, चलो चलो अंदर देखो और क्या क्या प्रोडक्ट Apple बनाता है. That means my intelligence is now colored by my mind. This is called vasana. Coloring of the intelligence based on the experience of mind. Please write down this statement. Coloring of the intelligence based on the experience of the mind is called vasana. You are able to understand now? Previously, agar मैं imagine, how many of you know Imagine store that sells Apple products? So, previously अगर Apple store से मैं जाऊंगा तो मेरे को कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ता है. ठीक है, Apple store है. But one time I have used Apple product and I have liked it and it has given a very good emotional experience to me. Then you are walking through the Apple store. चलते हैं देखते हैं और क्या product है. मतलब your intelligence is being now guided or colored by your experience of the mind. So vasanas is basically called inclinations for further action based on the experience of the previous action. So what is vasana? It is like further action. Like for example, I'll give another example so that you understand what is vasana, how it stores. Previously, we used to use fountain pen. I don't know how many of you know fountain pen, ink-based pen, right? So the ink used to come in a bottle, right? Now the ink, after it gets over, still there will be some blue color stuck in that bottle. You put water on that bottle, what the water will become? Blue. And then you throw the water and again put water, again the water will become blue. Again put water, again the water will become blue. And like that you put more and more water, the water will become blue. That means why? The blue has almost taken, it has stuck to the bottle. So that is called vasana. Vasana means even white water you put, it will color it. Similarly, even if you go through, like if Risita has not used Apple products and Sri Nitai Das has used Apple products, both of them are walking through the Apple store. Now Rishita will have a different direction. Rishita will say, "Okay, chalo aage badho." But Sri Nitai Das will be looking, "Arey, dekhte hain what is happening." Correct? Like for example, I have never seen any movies. Now I go through the film hall. I really don't see the poster. Koi hero hai, koi heroine hai, mereko. I don't even know who is the hero, who is the heroine. My last heroine that I knew was Aishwarya Rai. Whenever I give example, I only give example of Aishwarya Rai. And people tell me in the offices where I go and give seminars, say, स्वामी जी ऐश्वर्या राय क्यों, और कोई बताइए. मैं बोला और किसी को आता नहीं, वही लास्ट मैं सुना था ऐश्वर्या राय, वो बहुत पुराना हो गया स्वामी जी. मैं बोला नया वालों को पता नहीं मेरे को. So but those who are really into movies, when there is Friday, first day, first show, I used to see in IIT when I used to there, the South Indians, they watch a lot of movies. They have like, what do you say, 3 Sandhya. They have in the IIT hostel only, the South Indians, morning they will be watching 1 movie, afternoon there will be 2nd movie, evening 3rd movie, and in the night 4th movie. 4 movies they will watch in the hostel. For them, a movie is like, what you say, it's such a special thing. And when they go through and they see a movie poster, they get attracted. But because I don't have experience of the movie, I don't get attracted. This is called vasanas or inclination. Yes, vasanas is also basically wish. Wish, colored wish. So, as he is telling, is vasana our wish? Yes, vasana is basically colored wish or khujli, based on the experience. If you have eaten the tender coconut ice cream, you are thinking tender coconut ice cream, tender coconut ice cream. Wherever you are going to the parlor, you are thinking tender coconut ice cream. And the entire advertisement industry works on vasanas only. How many of you have seen, like, you go, thanda matlab Coca-Cola, thanda matlab Coca-Cola, thanda matlab Coca-Cola, thanda matlab Coca-Cola, and आपको गर्मी लग रहा है. So what do you will ask for? गर्मी लग रहा है. Get a Coca-Cola. So the entire advertisement industry, this is called pruning. You can search in Google, called pruning. I'll give an example of pruning so that you understand what is called pruning. So if I write like this, S, O, dash and P. If you are hungry, there are hunger symptoms in your mind. What intelligence will fill there? Which letter it will fill? Hey, which letter it will fill? Very good. It will fill U. Imagine you are just got up in the morning, not taken bath. What letter it will fill? Very good. So this is called mental pruning. Okay? Pruning or whatever it is. We will go ahead and see more on this subject matter. This is a very, this is how psychologists, they use these techniques to, how many of you have seen advertisements? Nowadays advertisements, they will first put a big poster and write nothing. We are coming. And then you are feeling, oh, what is coming? Who is coming? When is coming? Where is coming? What is coming? How is coming? So everything is going on in your mind, in your intelligence. What is coming? What is coming? What is coming? And next, after 7 days, the same advertisement will be there with the same poster. You know, okay, we are coming to New Town with this flat, 1.3 crore, 3 BHK flat, and purchase your flat, like that. So this is called pruning. Okay. So in this way, the samskaras and vasanas, they force us into further action. Where is it? Yeah. So they force us into further action. So then, because you have used the iPad, and when you go to an Apple store, now previously you purchased the iPad, got a good experience, now you purchased the iPhone. And in this way, you have got into the Apple ecosystem. So this is how our karmic cycle works. Karma creates samskaras, samskaras creates vasanas or force our actions in a particular way. Then again we create another action, and then we got into the karmic cycle. So these samskaras are stored in the mind, vasanas are stored in the intelligence, and actions are done by our sensory or motor neurons and all those things. So now the question is, how to come out of the karmic cycle? So the first thing you have to understand about mind and intelligence is, brain is not the mind. So the brain is not the mind. Sometimes we think brain is the mind, but brain is the hardware that supports the mind. Okay? So we will see one video. So the brain contains, just 1 minute. So the brain contains lot of neurons, and these neurons, they work and they get activated based on electrical impulses. And these electrical impulses are fired by the mind, which is like the software. And that's how the scientists have found out nowadays that we can even change our brain, which is called the neuroplasticity. We will see a video. Okay, turn on the video. Okay.
Not so long ago, many scientists believed that the brain did not change after childhood, that it was hardwired and fixed by the time we became adults. But recent advances in only the last decade now tell us that this is simply not true. The brain can and does change throughout our lives.
So the video says,
is adaptable.
Just stop. So the video says the biologist and neuropsychologist, they were thinking that the brain is static. They were thinking the brain doesn't change.
Plastic. Hence neuroscience.
But later on, through research we have found out that the brain may remain same. Like if you cut out my brain, you cut out someone else's brain, it may look the same. But my intelligence may be different and someone else's intelligence may be different. Correct? You cut out the brain of a IIT topper and you cut out the brain of a IIT dropper. Okay. So one is the dropper who dropped out and one is the topper. We will not see any external difference. But how the things are working is because of the firing that will be explained in the video. Go ahead.
Scientists call this neuroplasticity. How does neuroplasticity work? If you think of your brain as a dynamic, connected power grid, there are billions.
So when you do a particular action, the scientists have found out a particular part of your brain gets fired through the mind, right? Go ahead.
Billions of pathways or roads lighting up every time you think, feel, or do something. Some of these roads are well traveled. These are our habits, our established ways of thinking, feeling, and doing. Every time we think in a certain way, practice a particular task.
Whatever actions you do, whether you drive a cycle or eating a carrot or doing some exercise or you are stressed out, you're going to a restaurant, smoking, bad habits, whatever it is there, everything are basically firing of the neurons in a particular way in a brain. Go ahead.
Or feel a specific emotion, we strengthen this road. It becomes easier for our brains to travel this pathway. Say
now,
we think
this
about
is very
something
important.
differently.
Stop. You see, when the first line went, the road was patla. And now the next line, the load has become mota. Correct? You have seen that? You observed that? Go back and start again. You see now the line is very patla. Go ahead.
To travel this pathway.
Now the line is becoming mota. You see? So this is how scientists have found out how our habits work. So when you do one action in a particular way, so the neuron fires in one way. Let's say for example, attending the Bhagavad Gita class. So the neuron will fire like this. The next time you do, the neuron again will fire like this. The third time you do, neuron will fire like this. And after some time, the neuron will fire and it will become mota. And it will become an habit. Right? So at 11 o'clock, immediately you will remember, oh, Bhagavad Gita is not there or today or what? So 11 o'clock in the morning, Sunday morning, and Bhagavad Gita will get connected. Right? Okay. Yes, go ahead.
Emotion. We start carving out a new road.
You see? Yes.
If we keep traveling that
now
road,
you see what another. Wait. Now you want to change the white line to yellow line. Imagine at 11 o'clock you were going for watching a movie. That was your habit from childhood. Now someone said ki there is Bhagavad Gita, and then you thought, what this takla will say, Bhagavad Gita, kya Bhagavad Gita, is this the time to learn Bhagavad Gita, I am so young and all. But then because of little bit of influence by your friends and all, so you came to the Bhagavad Gita class. And there was some humor and joke, you somehow liked the class. But the problem is now there is a tug of war. Movie, Bhagavad Gita. Movie, Bhagavad Gita. So that is called the white and yellow line. You are able to understand now? You saw that? Right? So that is basically, that is basically the white line and yellow line. So there is a tug of war. The same time, the white line which is very strong is what? The vasanas. Movie. And yellow line, Bhagavad Gita. That is not that strong now. ठीक है भगवद गीता मम्मी ने बिठाया है भगवद गीता क्लास में मम्मी wants me to attend Bhagavad Gita class. Movie, friends want. So the yellow line is mota line, the movie line, and patla line is the Bhagavad Gita line, right? Or you can say the yellow line is the going for party, chill out and all, and patla line is your studies. ठीक है physics class, okay, physics class. But yes, party time, yellow line. So So in this way, now they are telling, you go ahead with the video.
Thinking, feeling,
now you want to change.
Becomes second nature.
So now you want to change. So if you want to change, you have to continue doing the 11 o'clock Bhagavad Gita class or 11 o'clock physics class. And slowly, slowly what will happen? White line will become patla, yellow line will become mota. You see?
The old pathway gets used less and less and weakens.
Now you are seeing, able to see?
This
now the white line becomes patla and disappears only. And the yellow line becomes mota. So in this way, the scientists have found out that though the brain of a drug addict and brain of a nice, right person, proper person is same. But the mind is firing in wrong ways. And that's how, through spirituality, we don't change the brain. We change how the mind acts through the brain. You are able to understand how spirituality works in our life? It's not that spirituality will give you a big brain. No. Your brain will be same because that's the hardware. How your wiring and firing happens in the brain, the mind is actually wiring and firing. So that mind gets activated in a particular way through spirituality. Right? That's what the scientists have found out, and they have termed it as that concept, that spirituality, what we call it, they call it mindfulness. Mindfulness means firing the mind in a particular way so that to create positive habits, positive things. So it's actually the mind which programs the brain in a particular way and creates something called habit. You see, habit is such a wonderful word. Habit is basically vasana. So what we call vasana in Sanskrit is called habit. Habit means what? Unconsciously you get dragged into it. I'll give an example so that you understand what is a habit and what is a vasana. Another example I remember. Now I'm remembering a lot of IIT examples. So when I was a child, maybe at class 4 or 5, I started learning bicycle. Now when I started learning bicycle, so my first problem was I used to ask my father, who taught me how to ride a bicycle. पेडल नीचे मारना है तो देखना तो नीचे है कि पैर पेडल में लगना चाहिए और सामने रास्ता को भी देखना है और नीचे पेडल में पैर लग रहा है कि नहीं देखना है. सो आई यूज्ड टू वंडर, अगर नीचे देखता था तो साइकिल इधर उधर चल के गिर जाता था और सामने देखता था तो पैर पेडल से निकल जाता था and my feet will lose the pedal and I will fall. So I used to wonder how this connection will work. I will look front, but my feet will be on the pedal, and slowly through practice it works. So what is meaning of practice? Practice means wiring your brain in a particular way. You are able to understand? You are wiring your brain in a particular way. And when I got into IIT, in IIT no one studies throughout the semester. Everyone studies 2 days before the semester. And practically till the time you dash to your exam hall, till that time everyone studies. So I used to drive cycle, and with one hand the book was there and one hand cycle was there, and then I used to drive and read the book and reach the exam hall. And some of my friends were much more expert. They used to put sandwich in the mouth and read book in the hand, and without holding the handle they used to drive cycle. So this is called habit. Habit means what? It unconsciously you do an activity. That is called habit. Your intelligence, your mind is programmed in such a way when you do it unconsciously. And that's why the word habit is also very interesting. You see, habit, you remove H from habit, a bit remains. You remove A from habit, bit remains. You remove B from habit, it still remains. So habit once formed becomes very, very difficult to go. You remove the H and a bit of it will remain. You remove the A of the habit bit of it remains. You remove B of habit, it still remains. So, the neuropsychologists have found out how through neuroplasticity, by following a positive spiritual path, we can rewire our mind, rewire our brain, right? So there is a big talk among the neuropsychologists called rewiring the brain. And this rewiring is possible through positive mental inputs, because it's the mind which is wiring the brain, right? And this is what is written. I have mentioned another story here, very nice story about how tea started in Puri. My father used to say that I think his grandfather, my father's grandfather. So previously in Puri, we are all from Puri. So no one used to drink tea in the morning. So in the morning, in the breakfast, there used to be sattu. Not a sattu exactly. Anyone? Sorry. It is a satua. It's made of wheat flour. It's another item. So morning, everyone will take milk and put that satua in that and put some fruits and everything, banana, and make a very nice, wonderful dish, and everyone will take it. Now the tea market entered. So when the tea market entered, they were seeing, these people, these fellows in the morning, they take these products as breakfast. How do we market our tea? So then they created sachets. You know what is called sachet? A sachet is to create your habit. So actually all this advertisement industry, they study psychology to market their product. So they created sachet. Sachet means free product, like Jio, right? 1 year free. So sachet. So when the sachet came, it was thrown. My father used to tell, it was thrown like that in all the houses. So one person came, one marketing agent came. He threw small sachets of tea in everyone's home and went away. Everyone was wondering, ye kya hai? What is this new item? It's smelling a different way. What is this new item? No one was knowing what to use it. Then, after 7 days, every day throwing sachets, 7 days after that, one person came to teach in the mohalla how to prepare this item. Because that time there are no YouTubes and all. So you have to do everything physical, offline. So then the tea, how to prepare the tea was taught. Then people started preparing tea, and sachets were being provided for free. People started preparing tea, and sachets were provided free. People started preparing, drinking, free. After 6 months, you have to give 10 rupees for the sachet. And you have no option than to purchase it. In this way, if you go to current Puri, no one eats now satua, everyone drinks tea. So in this way, our wirings are being programmed through different actions. So now how to break? So this can be a positive cycle also. It can be a negative cycle also, right? So it can be both. It's not necessary it has to be a negative cycle. It can be a positive cycle. Like 11 o'clock, every Sunday 11 o'clock, you are getting into a habit of hearing Bhagavad Gita, hearing some spiritual stuff in the morning for 1 hour. So it's a positive. You keep on doing it, it will become a habit. And then it will become a habit. It will become a habit. And slowly, your mind will start behaving in a positive way. So the vasanas are not necessarily negative. There can be negative or positive, but the point is, it's a cycle. If you get into a negative cycle, you run around the negative cycle. Now, how to break the cycle? That is, how to break the negative cycle, basically. So first thing we need to understand is, we cannot stop actions. We cannot stop actions. It's not possible. One may say, okay, once you have started the action, you cannot stop action. We have to do action. So what we can do actions that create positive impressions and those positive impressions will create positive inclinations. So whatever negative impression, negative inclinations are there, so let they be there. We are not interested in deleting the negative impressions. We are interested in creating a positive cycle altogether. I'll give an example. This is a true story. You should hear this very carefully. In 2011, when I shifted to Calcutta, 2011, 11 or 12, there was a boy whom I met. So this boy was from St. Xavier's University. I used to stay in that side of the Calcutta, in the Albert Road Temple, Minto Park. In the central Calcutta, we have a temple. So, so there's a boy who used to study St. Xavier's. St. Xavier's College is nearby. So, so this boy, he got into drugs. You see, the drugs are not available in Amazon. You cannot search drugs in Amazon and get something. So what this drugs peddler they do, they follow also this example. Samskar Vasana, Karma Samskar Vasana. They also follow this example. They will come to you and give in 10 rupees. Say, "Arey, 10 rupees mein mil raha hai." And then you take it. Maja aa raha hai. And the drugs will take you to some higher plane, you know, and you will forget everything. You will forget all the pain and everything, and you will be all roaming. I have not taken, but I have heard that from that boy. So then this boy started taking it. 10 rupees, you know, every day, little. After 6 months, this person disappeared. Now, this boy was telling me, he got such craving. He was mad. He was searching for this person. He would do anything to search in person. And where to find now that person and where to find it? The substance. Now again, for 7 days the person disappeared, and after 7 days, it's a complete trap. After 7 days the person appeared, and the person appeared and said, for one packet now, I will only give you if you pay 10,000 rupees. From 10 rupees to 10,000 rupees. Where this boy will get, he started stealing. He started stealing from his father, he started stealing from his mother, he started stealing from his friends. And he said, his lips, by taking drugs, his lips became like this. Ulta ho gaya, pata nahi kya ho gaya. His stomach became like a damru, like a, what you say? You have seen what? Not watermelon. Watermelon, you have seen how it becomes. His stomach became like this. His lips became like this, and ulta hoke kala ho gaya. And his parents father was thinking, "Mera paisa kahan ja raha hai?" And what is? Then father also understood he is only stealing, and the father was so concerned. He was mad, and then father stopped giving money, and he used to get money from father to go to tuitions. He will not go to tuitions. He'll take the money and purchase drugs and eat. Like this, his life became very horrible because he started stealing from his friends. His friends also distanced him, and he was completely alone. His only recluse was that person, that drug peddler. He used to roam around in the Minto Park area, and he's from a very good family. Like craving. One time he had no money, and he was roaming in the Minto Park, that area, in the evening time with a craving. What to do? Like, mad. Like he was telling, I can do anything. I can beat, I can kill, just to get some money so that I can purchase drugs. And then he saw a big line. Then he asked, what is this big line people are standing for? The person said, ISKCON की खिचड़ी मिल रहा है, ISKCON की खिचड़ी का लाइन है. So वो भी खड़ा हो गया लाइन में. He also stood in that line, ISKCON खिचड़ी line, because उसका craving है, कुछ तो खाना है, कुछ तो करना है. And then after some time the line came and he got one drone of khichdi. And he said, as soon as I took that khichdi, that garam khichdi, I started sweating and my craving disappeared. I thought this is an idea because ISKCON khichdi is free and I can easily get rid of my drugs craving. So he from next day started coming in the evening, standing in the line and taking the khichdi. And he said, in 1 month, my cravings became 50%. And one day while I was taking khichdi in the evening, in the first floor, I was hearing a lot of kirtan. So I said, what happened? What is happening on the top? So I went to the top of the temple hall and then I attended the kirtan and one person gave me halwa. When I took halwa, khichdi was one level, halwa was another level. This is a true story. And then I took halwa and then I asked the person, Arey, you don't distribute halwa on the ground? Only khichdi is distributed? They said that halwa is only for people who attend kirtan and chant Hare Krishna. And then I started taking halwa and I started, some person gave me mala, I started chanting Hare Krishna and within 6 months he was out of drugs. A habit of 4 years, his parents were concerned, his body had become like a dramuru, and he has become like a potato, and his lips had become black in color. In 6 months with khichdi, halwa and Hare Krishna, everything is done, right? And he's married now, settled now properly, and his parents are shocked, his friends are shocked. That is the power of spirituality. You must understand. So, we cannot stop actions. Whatever wrong impressions are there, you cannot stop it. But, if you create a positive cycle, positive spiritual cycle, so that positive spiritual cycle will help you get rid of the negative habit cycle that you have created. And that's why spirituality is not for elderly people. Spirituality is for everyone because it helps us to create positive impressions and positive inclinations, and that creates positive actions further, and then we create a positive cycle in our system. So the mind and intelligence, they get inputs from the senses, right? And mind can be transformed through experience and intelligence can be transformed through education. So our Shastras give this example of chariot of the body. They give a wonderful example. Our 5 senses are like 5 horses. Our entire body is compared to a chariot. The 5 horses are compared to our senses, eyes, ears and all. And the mind is like the reins that connect the horses, and intelligence is the driver, and the soul is the passenger. So you can control your mind through the intelligence. And how mind can be transformed? Through good experience. Mind has got negative experience, feed the mind with good experience, positive experience. Similarly, by prasadam, just like I gave an example of this drug addict person, just by prasadam, you should never think that the khichdi of ISKCON is a food. It's not a food. It's prasad. It has spiritual substance which can rewire your negative habits. Similarly, kirtan, dance, spiritual music, bhajans, going to spiritual places, retreats, these are all experiences that gives, that rewires positively your mind. Similarly, reading Bhagavad Gita, hearing about Bhagavad Gita, that actually transforms our intelligence. Right? And that's how Krishna says this verse in Bhagavad Gita. We will read this and we'll end. Nasti buddhira yuktasya. Anyone? Okay.
नास्ति बुद्धिर अयुक्तस्य
न च युक्तस्य भावना
न च युक्तस्य भावना
न च भावयते शान्ति
न च भावयते शान्तिः
अशान्तस्य कुतः सुखम्.
अशान्तस्य कुतः सुखम्.
Okay, so Krishna is telling nasti buddhir ayuktasya. If you do not connect your intelligence to me, if you don't connect your intelligence to me, nacha yuktasya bhavana, you don't connect your mind to me. If you don't connect your intelligence and mind to me, then nacha bhavayate santi. You will never attain peace in life. Asantasya kutha sukham. If peace is not there, where you will find happiness? Right? So Krishna is telling here that the mind and intelligence they are the storehouse of our samskaras and vasanas. Now there are negative samskaras and the negative vasanas. And these negative samskaras and vasanas are basically doing negative actions. Why negative actions are happening? Don't blame the action. The problem is the mind is having wrong samskaras, intelligence is having wrong vasanas. And we want to do positive action. So how to do positive action? How to do right karma? Karma yoga क्या है? सही कर्म करना है. How to do right karma? Krishna is telling, first transform your mind and intelligence, and that's how from karma yoga Krishna takes Arjuna to Jnana yoga and Dhyan yoga. So karma yoga is explained in the 3rd chapter. So where Krishna is telling, do right actions. Arjuna, you have to do right actions. Everyone has to do right action. Arjuna is asking, Arey, I want to do right action. There is a verse in 3rd chapter, 3.36. Arjuna is asking, Arey Krishna, I want to do right action, but as if someone is there within me who is forcing me to do negative action. How many of you have seen that? We want to sit and study, but someone from within is forcing us. Oh, just sleep. Okay, so jao, sab theek ho jayega, right? So Arjuna is also asking, we want to do right thing, but someone is forcing us to do wrong thing. So that force is coming from vasanas and samskaras. So this force is coming from the vasanas and the samskaras. And Krishna is telling, until unless you purify vasanas and purify samskaras, your actions will not be purified. So how to purify the vasanas? Krishna says through Jnana yoga in the 4th and 5th chapter. We will read next class. And then Krishna says about Dhyan yoga, you can delete the samskaras. Okay, so Jnana yoga is about deleting the vasanas and creating positive vasanas, and Dhyan yoga is creating positive samskaras. And what will happen by Jnana and Dhyan yoga? What will happen finally is positive karma. Positive karma, because actions are controlled by the software, mind and intelligence. In this way, first we saw Sankhya yoga. So Sankhya yoga is about knowledge of soul. So if soul exists, then we saw that if soul is there, then we are entitled to or responsible for our actions. हम जिएंगे next life में. So then it lead to karma yoga. So now karma yoga means doing right actions. Because I am soul, I will be punished next life if I don't do right action. Correct? So Sankhya yoga से karma yoga ऐसे linked है. So you should understand the link of Bhagavad Gita. And from Karma Yoga, we understood that karma can only happen when our mind and intelligence are proper. Positive karma can happen through positive mind and positive intelligence. So that's why to make positive mind and intelligence, Krishna says about Jnana Yoga in the 4th and 5th chapter and Dhyana Yoga in the 6th chapter. So in this way, the first to 6 chapters of Bhagavad Gita are connected. Is this very scientific or not? So it's very, very scientific. It's not a very rocket science. It's very simple. So how from Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga comes? How from Karma Yoga, Dhyana Yoga comes? Mind and intelligence take charge of our actions. So purifying the mind and intelligence is Karma Yoga and Dhyana Yoga. Okay? So this is an overview of the 6 chapters. How Krishna has spoken Bhagavad Gita in the first 6 chapters. You may be wondering, अरे कर्म योगा बोल रहे थे, कैसे फिर ज्ञान योगा क्यों आ गया? इसलिए आ गया. Okay? Is this clear? Thank you so much. So anyone has any question, you can ask. See? Okay. Good. No questions means either you have understood everything or you have understood nothing. But whatever it is, I have done my duty. Best way to make you understand something. Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Hare Krishna, Hari Bol, Hare Krishna. Hari Bol. Okay, so there is some question. Okay, go down. What is the exact location of our mind? Go down. Okay, so location of our mind is very difficult to say. What is the exact location of the software? Very difficult to say. So where is the software? Software is a concept. Software is not a location. It doesn't have a hardware. Just like imagine you purchase a laptop and you put Windows 10 operating system. Will the weight of the laptop increase because of Windows डाल दिया है तो थोड़ा weight बढ़ जाएगा? Nothing happens like that. So we cannot find out where the mind is located. Mind is registered on the brain, right? But it's a software. It's a concept. It's subtle. But sometimes due to laziness, procrastination, other reasons, I am able to. So if we are not able to practice bhakti or spiritual life nicely, or we are not able to give, so what we should do is that we should take help of others. Sangye Sakti Kaliyuge. We should take help. Like another thing we will read after the 6th chapter, which is called the Bhakti Yoga. Now, what is Bhakti Yoga? Bhakti Yoga works on the level of ego. So, you will see based on your identity, you will associate with people, and that association will train your mind and intelligence in a particular way. Correct? Correct? How many of you agree with this? So Bhakti Yoga works on level of ego or association. So if we are not able to control our mind, not able to control our intelligence, it means that we should immediately take help of others. Take help of people who can help us read with them, attend classes with them, discuss with them. More and more we take good company, good association, then we'll be okay? Okay? Hare Krishna, thank you so much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. Okay, we'll end. Yeah, I read that. Okay. Sudvasana be transformed from karma or controlled by karma. Sudvasana, yes, that we will see next class. So this is just the concept, beginning of the concept. We will see next class. Next class, this is the question. What your question? How to program your mind? Your question is basically, हम अपने माइंड और इंटेलिजेंस को कैसे प्रोग्राम करें? हमारी वासना कर्म को कंट्रोल करता है, कैसे करेंगे उसको? अभी तो हम कॉन्सेप्ट समझ गए, बट करेंगे कैसे प्रैक्टिकली वो नेक्स्ट क्लास देखेंगे. ओके, ठीक है. हरि बोल, हरे कृष्ण. We'll end. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.